Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime and it is time to brawl. Today we're going to be covering the newest update on Brawl Stars, including the balance changes that are hitting as well. Super excited about this video, I hope that you enjoy, but first, is that a brawl box in a game room? Thank you so much for jumping on today's video. Today we're going to be covering all of the changes that are happening on Brawl Stars. In addition to, at the end of the video, we're going to be going over all of the balance changes as well. Very first off, you've probably already heard of this, but coin boosters have been removed from the game. You can no longer purchase them. They will not drop from Brawl boxes. But if you do have coin boosters available like yours truly, I purchased like 200 days worth of coin boosters, they will still work until they have expired. But a really cool, exciting change for the completely free to play players is that coin doubler drop chance is actually going to be doubled to replace those booster drops in there, which is pretty exciting for the free to play player base. Now, for those of you guys that are a little bit more freemium, kind of like I am, I drop some money into the game. I'm not a whale, I don't drop tons of money into the game, but I do drop some money into the game. I've got some exciting news for you, and that is event tickets are going to be purchasable, and they will no longer expire and can be used for any event. This is huge news for freemium players like me. Let's take a look at the best value by far. 60 tickets, a roll of tickets for 80 gems. Now let's go ahead and talk about the great value that this really is, okay? So let's say you're a poor player and you don't do very well. Well, let's say you get about 20 gold per ticket. That's still getting you 1,200 gold for purchasing this roll of tickets, which is super exciting. You get those in there, I mean, that's 12 brawl boxes. That's more value than if you just dropped your gems on the brawl boxes itself, even if you did purchase the big box, right? I mean, that's still a great value. Now, but let's say you're a really good player. You're getting 32 gold per ticket, okay? So you are going with your buddies into Robo Rumble. You're farming Robo Rumble hardcore. You're getting 32 gold every single time or higher. That's going to end up giving you 18 brawl boxes for 80 gems. That's 8 more brawl boxes than you would have gotten if you would have just purchased the big box. That's absolutely insane. And that is without boosters. That's without doublers. Now let's say you're a really good player, you get 32 gold per ticket, and you happen to still have some boosters left over, as well as the coin doublers. That's going to end up giving you 5,400 gold, so you're able to open up 54 brawl boxes, which is, instead of just the regular 10 for 80 gems. That is absolutely insane. That's over 5 times value, which is basically like you're purchasing a Shelly stash every single time you're dropping 80 gems in there, it's just insane, guys. So this is really awesome. This is a really great value for you freemium players. I'm not even upset that we're losing those coin boosters anymore, because I can see how not only can I just go into the events whenever I want, but I'm also going to get tons of rewards every time that I do that. There's been a couple of changes to the game room. First of all, you can open up a box right from the game room. Really cool. 10 tokens. Woohoo! In addition to that, another cool change is that if the party leader or the game room leader ends up leaving, it'll just randomly select another person to be the leader of the room, so you guys don't have to disband that game room, which is really cool. Another cool thing you'll notice is that the joystick size is actually going to scale with the device that you have. So I know for me, like, I'm playing on a tablet, and it's just absolutely massive. Totally got in the way all the time, and now it's a little bit smaller, which is really nice. You can kind of see that right there. One issue previously was that you couldn't tell if you were actually hitting people from a distance if your super was already charged. Now, every time you actually do hit somebody, even when your super is fully charged up, you'll be able to see that kind of light up there. Really exciting about this, especially for brawlers like Piper or Brock or Ricochet, anybody that's trying to take people out from a distance. This will definitely make it easy for them to see exactly what's going on and if they are shooting in the right direction. One small detail that I really appreciate is at the end of every battle, it's going to show you how many trophies each of the brawlers had in that battle. Now, you don't see that right here because these are bots, but you get the idea. You guys asked for it, and Supercell added it back in where you can see your brawlers sorted from highest to lowest in trophies on the profile page. Really cool. Obviously, we missed that, so great to have that back. Now, whenever you rank up, if you did have coin boosters, and you still do, you're now going to be able to see a plus 50 coins right here. It was being added to your account previously, it just didn't show it. There's a bug that's now fixed where if you were playing a character like Bull or Daryl, when you used your super ability, if sometimes there would be like a knockback up and so they'd go flying through the air.
Let's get it. Oh my gosh, what happened there? I flew in the air, holy crap.
That's no longer going to be an issue. For boss fight, it's no longer going to say victory or defeat at the end of the match. It was never really a victory or defeat. It just kind of is dependent on the amount of time that it took for you to finish the match, and that's going to be reflected this time. Now let's go ahead and talk about the balance changes which are happening, and I'm super excited about these. I feel like the team definitely hit the nail on the head for a lot of these brawlers. So excited about this. First off, we've got El Primo. His base health is going to be increased by 200 HP, which is a 3.5% health buff to his health. His star power burn duration is going to be reduced from 5 seconds down to 4 seconds, but the total damage for that burn is going to be increased from 400 damage to 600 damage over those 4 seconds. This is a 50% damage buff to his star power, which I definitely think is needed. El Primo was one of those brawlers where the star power was good and useful and it kind of helped in some circumstances, but most of the time it just didn't do enough damage and it just wasn't actually useful. Bull is receiving a buff to his health as well. His base health is going to be increased by 200. This is a 4.2% health buff, which is exciting. His main attack damage is increasing from 400 to 440, which is a 10% damage buff, and then his star power is now going to trigger at 50% health rather than that 30% health like it used to be. These are very exciting changes to Bull. Bull was very lackluster, and Daryl basically outshadowed Bull, which wasn't too impressive in the first place, but Bull definitely, I think this is going to help him kind of outshine a little, or shine a little bit more in different situations, especially once he gets that max, once he gets that star power. That at 50% health, at that point, I think Bull is useful. I think that star power is going to actually help him really apply some pressure to other brawlers and possibly even make him competitive. Bo is receiving a star power vision increase from 5 tiles to 6 tiles. Bo's star power is interesting because it's not super useful on every map. It's very useful on some maps and kind of doesn't help at all on other maps. This increase in that vision sight by that 1 tile is definitely going to give him a little bit more of the advantage that he needs. Brock's star power is going to be receiving a buff. The damage is increasing from 140 damage to 240 damage per second. This is a 50% buff to Brock's star power, which is really exciting. I definitely think that it was needed. His star power was good, and I like how it's kind of cool, and it's good to see how you can kind of like force players to avoid different areas and stuff by using that star power. But when it came down to it, it was very easy for people to just like ignore it and just like walk right through it because it didn't do enough damage to actually be threatening. Now let's go ahead and talk about Crow, who's receiving some nerfs and kind of a buff. His super is going to charge slightly slower now. It used to require 5 daggers plus poison to fully charge up. Now it's going to require 6 daggers plus poison to fully charge up. This is a 20% nerf to the charging speed of Crow, which I think he definitely needed. In addition to this, Crow's poison duration from his main attack and super are going to be reduced from 5 seconds down to 4 seconds. The total amount of damage is going to be remaining the same. This is a buff and a nerf in some different ways. First of all, it's a buff because this is going to mean that there may be some situations where he's able to get rid or defeat an opponent slightly sooner than he was before because he's receiving the same amount of damage but in a shorter period of time, so more damage per tick. This could prevent brawlers from actually dealing more damage to Crow before they get taken out, but those interactions are going to be far and few between. Mostly this is going to be a nerf because it's going to allow those brawlers that do get hit by his poison and are able to escape, they're going to be able to start healing up an entire second beforehand, which I definitely think is useful and very good for a lot of different situations because I do think that Crow is a little too strong. Colt is also receiving a nerf. His reload time is going to be increased from 1.25 seconds to 1.5 seconds. This is a 20% nerf to his reload speed. Now this, the Supercell did want to mention that this is the time that it takes from after he fires his initial shots. So this is going to seem a lot less impactful than those numbers might suggest, but it is overall a nerf to his reload speed. I think that Colt was too strong. I really do. Definitely one of the strongest. I think this is going to make him still very strong, but he's definitely going to have to think a little bit more about where he shoots those shots in the first place. Mortis is receiving a nerf to his star power. The damage or the amount of HP that he heals from those souls is going from 1200 HP down to 1000. That sounds weird. 1000 HP per soul collected. This is a 16.7% nerf to that healing. I think that Mortis was very strong in certain circumstances. Was he great in every game mode? No. But with the right composition and with the right game mode, he was absolutely ridiculously, insanely powerful, because you have no idea where those souls are unless you are Mortis. And so so you could think that he's going in, you're going to be able to corner him, and then all of a sudden he's back at full health, and he's going to counter you hardcore. Now, I still think that he's going to be able to do that in a lot of situations. Definitely still very strong, just not quite as strong and overpowered as he was before. Nita is receiving another buff, 2 of them actually. Her base health is increasing by 200 HP, this is a 6.25% health buff, and her star power healing effect is increasing from 180 HP to 200 HP per attack. This is an 11.1% buff to her star power. Her star power seemed a little bit lackluster, and Nita, although she was not a bad brawler, she was definitely a good brawler. There were other brawlers that filled the roles that Nita filled a little bit better than she did, and just kind of outshined her. Pam's healing station is going to be receiving a nerf. The amount of HP that it heals is going to be reduced from 400 HP down to 360 HP, which is a 10% nerf to her healing. Pam was just overpowered. It was very obvious to see as soon as the update hit that you take her healing station, add that to her star power, and she just would heal. And it seemed like she healed anybody. It didn't matter how much damage was going down on her. She would heal basically anybody or anything and resist anything. This is going to definitely help tone her down a little bit. I still think she's going to be a very strong brawler, maybe just not quite as overpowered as she was beforehand. Daryl's also receiving a buff. His base health is increasing by 200 HP, which is a 4.5% buff to Daryl. His main attack shots are also going to be fired a little bit closer to each other. They definitely were very spread out, which made Daryl a little... He definitely didn't hit people as frequently as you'd like to, and as hard as you would like him to. So now I definitely think that's going to be helping. His star power damages reduction is also going to be increased from 70% reduction to 80% damage reduction while he's using his super. Now, a lot of people argued and said, well, he moves so fast that you can't hit him anyways, so that's kind of a useless star power, right? Well, his super roll speed is going to be decreased from 2800 to 2400. I don't know what that means, but it's a 14.3% nerf to that roll speed, which I think is going to help. I still think he's going to be really fast. I still think it's going to be really hard to hit him, but it's definitely going to make it a little bit easier to hit him than it was beforehand. There were also some other issues with Daryl. He would get stuck on some water in some maps. He would get stuck inside some walls sometimes, and there was an issue with Daryl not getting destroyed once a brawl ball has been scored. So that's going to be fixed. In addition, there was a mismatch between Daryl's super aiming line and the outcome of the actual roll, and so that's going to be fixed as well. Daryl's going to feel a lot less glitchy now, guys. Poco is getting a completely different star power, and I'm really excited about it. Poco's main attack now heals allies for 200 health per hit. This is super exciting. Poco's previous star power, Swan Song, was really cool. I thought it was awesome, but it was highly situational, and Poco should be played to survive. He should be there to help heal his brawlers. He should be kind of backlines, not on the offense, being the first one to die triumphantly. That's not how Poco works. And this is a much better fit for Poco. Now, 200 health per hit, is that overpowered? No, that is not overpowered. I mean, you think about how slow his reload speed, and the fact that even just all 3 shots on a brawler is only going to heal them 600 health. That's enough to stop some brawlers from killing him in one more shot, but it's definitely going to help in some situations. Make him useful and make that star power useful, but definitely, I really don't think this is going to be overpowered. Spike's star power healing is going to be reduced from 600 HP to 500 HP per second. This is a 16.7 nerf to that star power healing, which I think definitely is needed. Spike's star power was just insane. You could just place that down and survive anything, it seemed like. This is definitely going to help tone that down a little bit. I think Spike is still going to be useful. I think he's still going to feel like a legendary, but I don't think it's going to be overpowered like it was. was. Now let's talk about Terra, whose star power Shadow Companion is going to receive an increase of health from 600 health to 2000 health, which is a 25% buff to that Shadow's health. Very exciting to see this change with Terra. I felt like her Shadow was really, it hit hard, but you could get rid of it really quickly, and it just wasn't very threatening in a lot of situations. At most, you'd waste 1 shot, maybe 2 shots on to get rid of it, and now it'll require probably 3 shots to really clear it, which I think is actually useful for her star power. Terra's star power companion is no longer going to be scaling with showdown power-ups and when she is the boss in boss fight. To my understanding, that wasn't intended to be like that in the first place, so now that should make her feel a little bit more balanced in different game modes. Lastly, we have Ricochet, who is going to be receiving a decrease in his star power damage. It is going from 100 additional damage down to 800 or 80 additional damage per shot. This is 20% nerf to the damage reduction of that star power. I definitely think that Ricochet, it feels very good and very balanced when he's not maxed, but when he was maxed, he just was super overwhelming. You think about how much damage that is per shot, 100 more damage. That's just crazy. So this is definitely nerf him down a little bit. Another really cool change to Ricochet's star power is now its effect is going to be a little bit more visible. It used to be that the balls would just kind of like glow a little bit more wider. Little difficult to tell that. Now they have this really cool effect here where it's very obvious if the Ricochet that's shooting at you is actually a max brawler. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure you let me know what you think about these balance changes. Which changes are you most excited for? Which are you least excited for? And what changes do you think Supercell missed in this update? For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in the arena.